beloved Ascension Pioneers. How is everyone doing? I hope you're all having a great day, great weekend, because it's just the energies are so intense right now. Amazing buzzing hands, sleepless nights sometimes, and just rushes and surges of energy. I hope you're noticing the same, and you know that it's nothing to be afraid of. It's grounding and anchoring new energies as we're moving further into our new body grids and just aligning with ourselves. So in this alignment process, I think it's really important now to make a short video about the differences between the divine guidance and the guidance that is coming more from the lower realms. Of course, you might say everything is of the divine, and it's true. In truth, you know how we were saying in the Children of the Sunlight activation within the rite of passage, which we're doing right now, was there is no light, there is no dark, there is only love. And as you know, love is the cohesive force of all, of everything, of all creation. So when we come to this level of awareness, we see things differently. And that's why I always guide in a way of raising the vibration, raising the awareness of ourselves, of everyone. So I assist in a way of providing you with seeing things from a deeper perspective. And since I was going through many of my own experiences, and I had immense spiritual growth recently, which I always do when I'm just pushed into the new, and it's like I experience things in order to then talk about them. And this is really important because a lot of the people are still residing in, you know, they're not objective observers. They cannot see clearly. They cannot put two, you know, one and one together and make two, like you say, connect the dots. It's just the more you remain in the old, the less you can see things, you know, from a deeper, more expanded, the broader level, which is the level of your soul. And of course, soul being the bridge between your lower and your higher self, which is basically what leads you towards your I am presence. So it's about connecting with that part of you. It's about connecting to your inner divinity. What's happening in these times is there's a lot of confusion, and oftentimes I've been speaking about this already. And I think it's really important to talk about this again in a new aspect because I've got some insights to share here alongside what I've already been talking about. So this is more about how you tune into your inner realms, how you recognize divine guidance, and how you recognize guidance that is coming from levels that are really not totally illuminated with light, that are not from the realms of illuminated truth. They're not from the angelic realms, archangelic realms, you know, the Elohim realms, everything that is really guiding you through the highest divine guidance possible. And like I always like to say, divine guidance doesn't speak in pictures and images and words that some people hear as clairvoyance or claircognizance and whatever. Not claircognizance is inner knowing, I'm sorry. Clairvoyance and clairaudient, yeah. So the thing is, it speaks through inner knowing. It speaks through the language of the so-called hyperspace. Some people like to call it like that. And this is all through divine, like I said, sacred symbols, through things, through patterns in life, through numbers, through, you know, basically using synchronicities and connecting two and two together, you know, and seeing the bigger picture. But how guidance operates on lower levels, for instance, you might have certain people who are mediums, right? And like I say, don't judge this. Nothing's wrong with being a medium or being, I don't know, clairvoyant or clairaudient. It's just about these individuals channel certain entities sometimes, and not all of these entities are, you know, they're completely within their realms of illuminated truth. Of course they're not. So what happens, this guidance can be falsely misleaded when it's given to someone else that is coming directly from the light of source, and it's not true. Well, today I would like to discuss the difference and how you yourself, beloved Ascension Pioneers, can recognize this instantaneously. You know, there's so much channeled material out there, and a lot of people have been falling for these traps of so-called channelers. And the moment you really channel something from without you, something that is coming from externally, you're giving your power away. Even, for instance, if you're channeling a certain being that is a divine being, you know, we're all divine beings, everything is of the divine, but the being that is illuminated with the light of the truth, you're still not fully tapping into your own divinity. So those beings who are really within the realms of illuminated truth will always be like, more like your cheerleaders. They will help you, to nudge you gently, to really come in your own power, to connect through your soul, and further on, because the soul is the bridge towards your higher I am presence, further on to aligning yourself with your beloved I am. And a lot of the people don't understand when you say I am, they think the I means the ego, not the ego I, you know, me, the persona. The I am presence, which is your greater self, which is your source self, how you were created in the first place, you know. So the thing is, how do you recognize this, you know? Yesterday I had this woman writing to me about this example. What happened to her, she mentioned this, that she was visiting this place. She met a woman there. I'll be brief. I don't know the whole situation, but just to be clear on, you know, the whole aspect of it. So she met this woman and it was like, oh, you're also a channel. Oh, yes, I'm too. You know, I'm also a medium. Let's do readings for each other. And they did that. And then the woman said to me, that lady told me that I went to this place and she knew it. And I'm like, yeah, how do you know? And she knew it. And then she told me that I got the spell, like this curse from this woman who was jealous of me or something like that. I don't remember the full story because I have so many emails. It doesn't even matter. I just want to get to the basis of it. That's what I would like you to be aware of. So the thing is, this lady was then so concerned and she even started feeling bad. And she asked me for help, what to do with it. Well, you know my truth about this. For those of you who have stayed tuned long enough to watch my videos frequently, and how I feel about this, that no one can do that to you. No one can curse you. No one can put a spell on you unless you think so, unless you believe it, unless you give your power away. And people worry so much sometimes, you know. And what I felt in this situation was, you know, people who know things about you, they're channeling the realms that are not a full divinity, that are not the realms of illumination. So what is happening there, this woman gave the other woman the information about her, so she was enthusiastic, you know. So what we might feel when someone says to us something like they know about us, like a psychic, we get so excited, we think, wow, that person is surely divinely guided, but that's not so. Listen to me now. Psychics will read certain levels, you know. For instance, those who are mediums, they channel entities. For instance, those who pass away, those who cross to the other side. So for instance, you know, you get someone who will be medium and will bring forth messages of loved ones for those who passed away to those who are still here on earth. And they bring certain messages, for instance, like they say, oh, the person is telling me green slippers. Does that mean anything to you? Oh, yeah, I was wearing the green slippers when we were blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm trying to say? They give basic information, things you can work with, physical things. So when a person knows something about you, that does not mean that is coming directly from the divine level, because in the realms of illuminated truth, everything is pure energy, everything is pure love. And they do not, these realms do not, they don't even see. It's really hard to explain it in human terms that you wouldn't get the certain false image of this. But I will try to simplify it with our words. They don't see us in a way through these events and material things, and those are still those who are still kind of connected to the realms of earth, who are still earthbound in some way, who are really close, who are still around earth's plane, like for existence, the fourth dimension, those who cross over. So when you get certain guidance from someone who will tell you something about you, don't firstly make the whole conclusion that it's coming directly from the divine and you want them to tell you everything about you and you'll believe everything that they say, because that's how they work. That's how they manipulate you, and they don't always necessarily wish to manipulate you. Sometimes there are entities working through them, and these are entities that are not, like I said, illuminated within truth. They're not enlightened beings. They're not enlightened entities. Also, they're also divine. Everything is coming from the divine. That's the whole difference. That's why we cannot judge any sort of entity, but we have to be aware and discerning. That's the whole difference. Not judging, discerning. So what happened then is I told this lady that now she so firmly believes in this curse that that was the whole thing. That was being created within her. And the moment you do that, you actually give yourself, your own self-power away to someone else. And you start believing something, and you start falling for the story. This is how basic manipulation works. If you see how people have been manipulated here on earth for eons and eons of time, that's how basic manipulation works. You tell them something, you make them believe in this so much that they're so conceived in this that they can't even see that there's this other reality possible as well, that there's something grander beyond this. So these are all veils. These are all, you know, layers of the onions. So you have to be careful for things like that. How divine guidance works is always in the now. Spirit guidance, for instance, when I give spirit messages, when I source, that's why I call it sourcing, not channeling. You know, it's not coming anywhere externally. Sometimes people ask me, where's your guidance coming from, Luna? No one, me, my I am presence. But of course, you have to reach the realms. You have to be pure enough to connect it to yourself. You have to get away of these false layers that are not you in order to connect to your soul and then further on to your I am presence through your higher self, which is the direct energetic link. And I explained this in my video about the higher self, so please watch this if you're so guided. So a lot of the people fall for this and they don't know how the divine guidance works. And like I said, it's always in the now. It will always give you the energetic dynamics, the lessons, the challenges you're going through right now, what you're working now through energetically. And it will always be words with love, words through love. It will always be compassionate, neutral, never in a way, for instance, a lot of the people, even I've been told that, you know, stay away from this person, or be careful of that person, or, you know, you should be aware of this and that. Because the divine would never warn you. It would never warn you. It would never say, you know, it's kind of, you should be careful of this person. Because I've gone through an experience like that. And I've been doing a lot of pondering and meditation after. And I've even been testing that situation and the person. And I was thinking, you know what? Sometimes people don't even know what they're being guided through, which beings are working through them. Because the moment you step outside of you and you channel guides, whatever, it's, you know, everyone has their own guides. We all have our own guides. So when people channel messages for others through their own guides, it's like they forget we all have our own guides. So why would someone else's guides, they're working through them, work for you? It doesn't make sense. So I would like you to become more aware of this, because this is a path of ascension. It is about discernment. It is about stepping fully into our own power of our source self, and stop falling for these illusions. You know, sometimes people just fall for these readings that other people give them, and not all readings are not of spirit. Like I say, spirit readings are when someone helps you, when they act like a bridge between your own soul and your higher self to help you connect easily if you're still experiencing difficulties within that, how you can more purify yourself. And these are beautiful messages, and they will always be through love, and that person will be standing in their own I am presence, holding the space for you to connect as well. They won't do anything externally, because how can they really assist you in your own inner empowerment if they're not even standing in it themselves? Because true teaching is embodying. I always like to say this, and it's the only truth, and all masters have been speaking about this. So the moment you fall for someone else's story, and when they give you advice, which is what happened to me, don't do this, or really you should try like this and this. That is advice. Advice is not the guidance that is coming from the fifth dimensional awareness or higher. The fifth dimensional awareness or higher guidance comes from pointing people towards inner realms, questions, you know, directing them, you know, being mirror for them, reflecting. That's what the higher guidance is about. It's not about giving advice and telling them different versions of what's going to happen in the future, even though you say you have options still. It is not about the future. We have to learn to live in the now, because spirit truth lives only in the now, because the now is our direct link towards, through the eternal realms, to the eternal realms, I'm sorry. Today my English is really bad, I feel. So the thing is, you will becoming discerning when you will start noticing these things, when you will remember that through your own soul. You'll see the difference between the guidance that is fully of divine love, that is coming from divine love. You don't even have to say guidance of the light, because sometimes light can be blinding or completely dark. That's still duality. Like I said, no light, no dark, only love, but as divine creation love. Not the emotional human love and distorted love within their lower realms. The cohesive force of all life. And those beings who have mastered themselves, who do reside in these realms of eternal truth, of the realms of illuminated truth, they do guide us. We all have our own ascension mentors. We have to even ask, you know, and start listening to that guidance, and then being discerning in what ways it comes through. When you will get dates, for instance, that will happen to you on this date, or this will happen like that, or you get names and things like that, it is never coming from the highest possible guidance within the law of one, because they don't give you data. They want you to grow on your own. They're encouraging you. Like I said, they are cheerleaders. They are giving you what is happening in the now. They're showing you the energetic dynamics for you to raise your awareness, to raise your vibration. The moment you get data, physical objects, advice, telling you what to do, that is not coming either from your angelic guides, nor their own angelic guides, or the highest, you know, possible guidance within the law of one. It is not true. Some people might say this is so, but they themselves are not aware enough to understand this, because they have not yet on their own reached the level of awareness to attract that sort of guidance. So a lot of the people who are channelers also need to purify themselves to be that vessel for that spirit guidance, which is, like I said, always in the now. Just be discerning, beloved pioneers. This is a huge step in our ascension. A huge step is really becoming fully empowered source being who is sourcing from within. Always listen to yourself. For me, I always had these experiences when people came into my life and told me things when I didn't even ask them. Like they contacted me and told me things about me that I didn't even ask about. And some people might say, well, you was guided to tell you that. But it's not true. They might think that, and on their level of awareness, that is true. Like I said, truth is different in different levels of awareness. So do know that. I'm not judging any level of awareness. All is as it should be. I'm just saying, explain to you how this is from the highest possible, your source self, your I am presence, that we are now being asked to really step into, because this is a path of ascension. Let's face it, it's nothing else but that. So in a way, not everyone might be aware, or people are not always aware what energy presences there around them and what they're channeling. Sometimes they might channel messages of light and sometimes not. Again, I said the light. I'll keep saying love instead, okay? I'll try to bring that into my practice. But what I really want you to focus here on is self-empowerment. It's the only way of ascension is self-empowerment. So if you listen to or read some of the channel material and it's focused in the now and it's all about love, it can be, of course, authentic. And if it gives you the warm feeling in your heart, it's so, or goosebumps, or whatever kind of way, or your crown chakra tingles, or anything like that, or your third eye spinning, it's always a good sign. Each of us has that differently. But if it's really like blank, you don't feel anything, because sometimes it's what we want to hear at that moment. I've been just discussing this with my dearest person in my life, and I was explaining this to them, and they said the same thing. Say, sometimes these people, and they're not even aware of it, are using someone who's in a low vibration at that time. It doesn't mean low vibration like low awareness. That's the difference. Low vibration at that time, in that moment, means you might be sad or depressed, or you've just gone through a breakup, or you had a huge change in your life and you're still adjusting. It doesn't mean you're lower in awareness. It's just like your senses have dropped a bit because you're like grieving or in sadness. So sometimes these people come and will bring you messages that you want to hear at that time. And you're so eager to hear them because it's like all your mind wants to hear, but your heart knows otherwise. That's why when a heart still feels empty, even when you hear everything you're meant to hear, know that it's not coming from the heart. It's coming there to speak to your mind, to confuse you even more. And like I said, not everyone is aware they're doing that. But you have to be. It's not even about them. They're serving their purpose. Remember the movie The Matrix, when an oracle says to Neo, you had to hear that you're not the one at that moment. It was what you needed to hear. That is how divine guidance works. Sometimes you might be mad. Oh, it wasn't like I thought it was going to be. But divine guidance will always give you what you need to know, what you need to hear, what you need to experience at that moment, because it's all about going through the experience, and only the experience will allow you to embody certain aspects, divine blessings and virtues. It's a path of ascension. So, my beloved pioneers, I really hope that you will be able to look deeply in your heart, to understand this, to know that it's all within you, to know that if you're really seeking like a guide, seek those who emanate nothing but love. If they're still experiencing like really low vibrational situations in their life, you see they have a lot of drama in their lives, but they're teaching about drama and they're teaching about these messages of love. Don't judge them. Just know that maybe they're not coming, because they still have things, to raise awareness in their own lives. It's all about us. They need to take care of their own things. We need to take care of our own things. And like I say, sometimes people come to you and they think they know for you. I've been writing about this week. People know about you. I've been told this before too. Oh, this person's not right for you. Oh, I don't feel this person is your this and that. How did you feel that? And it's not about them. You see, they're just our challengers. It's about our heart, because only our heart knows. You know what? They're there to know their own truth and their own divine blueprint. And we're here to know our own. They're not here to know ours. Each one of us is here for a specific purpose, for a specific reason, which we are to, really see and remember and embody. So it's not about what anyone else thinks. And there's a lot of opinionated people out there. And a lot of the people also like to interfere in other people's lives. I don't know. It's really popular, especially there in the New Age community. And everyone knows better except you. But it's not true. You know the best for yourself. This woman wrote to me this week and she said, everyone's been telling me and giving me this advice, I should do it like this and that, but I choose to do it otherwise, in regards to a certain person. And I said, yes, keep on doing what your heart tells you to, even if in the end, for instance, it might bring you disappointment. That is what you needed to experience at that certain time. And this is how divine guidance works. It will not prevent you from experiencing something like, be fearful of this person, stay away from that, be careful. The divine guidance would never warn you. And you will recognize the words of love if they're truly coming from archangelic beings or divine guides that are within the realms of illuminated truth, like masters, luminaries. You will recognize it because you will feel nothing but love and your heart will expand. If it's just speaking to your mind, it's definitely not coming from the higher. It's coming from the lower. A lot of people, like I say, are mediums or they're channeling certain entities. These entities can tell you whatever they want. Like Lisa Renee said once in her videos, she said, everything that is coming through your senses externally can be manipulated. Your sight, your hearing, abilities, everything. Only the inner knowingness never fails. And this comes through the heart. So I feel really guided to do this video, and I hope you're recognizing and following, of course, your own divine guidance. And this is the only thing that really brings self-empowerment, which is the road to ascension and towards your beautiful embodiment of the divine love that you are. Trust that all that I speak here is to bring you that freedom, to free yourself from everyone else's opinions and advice and their beliefs. Especially, there are people out there who can say, I can tell others who their twin flame is, and I know this because it's who I am, I can do this, or I can read people's souls. It's like sometimes people have these, they're convinced that they have this ability. But let me tell you this. Why would something that is so sacred be given to someone else but not you? So people might become really sad in themselves and they think, does everyone else know better except me? And they might become depressed because of it. But fear not, my beloved. It's you who knows, not them. Those who say they know better for you than you, they're speaking through ego. Because, like I said, not in a bad sense. They're just not aware. They're just not aware enough yet to see that fully. But it's about you. You have to become aware enough. You have to see through these illusions and through these veils that have been preserving you to stay where you are for so long. You got to move on. You got to become fully you and trust that whatever you write to yourself, for instance, for myself, automatically is what is my truth, not what someone else's truth is. You might go to different psychics. Might like what they say because each and every one of them says it differently. Of course, because everyone reads different layers, and it's all about layers. But what layer do you want to read? What do you want to tap into? For me, nothing but my own I am presence, nothing but my own beloved I am. And my beloved, you see, you get to choose. We all get to choose, but I know what I choose. I know I choose myself. I know I choose my own sourcing, my own inner knowing. And sometimes these people, don't judge them. Don't judge them if they were there in your life for a certain reason, because they meant to help you to become even more empowered. Because when you feel that you don't really resonate and you do take a step forwards, you feel so brave, you feel so courageous, you're really so powerful. You feel like you expanded in an immense way, and they do bring blessings. Everyone in your life brings you blessings. So the messages of the lower, the messages of the higher, everything brings blessings because all is of the divine. But I speak these words in order for you to choose. What do you choose? Do you choose the path of ascension and your beloved I am, or do you choose the realms of the lower, of advice, of opinions, of other people telling you they know for you? It's your choice. Choose wisely. I love all of you. I'm taking a short break for the weekend, and I'll talk to you next week again. Take care. Bye.